Welcome back to The Explainer. Today, we're diving headfirst into a truly chilling case of extreme obsession, and we're starting right with the single most disturbing piece of evidence. We're looking at a story that takes a super familiar, cheerful holiday tradition, the lights, the gifts, the joy, and twists it into a literal, inescapable nightmare.
Okay, picture this completely bizarre crime scene. Police had just breached a quiet apartment after neighbors called in reporting some absolute blood-curdling screams. Inside, what they found completely defied logic. Tucked underneath a totally smashed Christmas tree, scattered all across the floor were these mysterious black gift boxes. And attached to them was this exact chilling note. "Merry Christmas from Marlene and Reynald." Now, on the surface, sure, it sounds like a warm card from a happy couple, right? But the reality of exactly who Reynald was, and literally where he was at the exact moment this note was found, well, that changes absolutely everything. Because here's the absolutely impossible timeline we have to grapple with. It immediately throws us into a supernatural mystery that just shatters logic. If Reynald had been dead, literally decomposing beneath the earth for nearly 2 weeks, how on earth could his name be freshly written on gift boxes inside a securely locked apartment? I mean, how does a dead man orchestrate a secret Santa exchange? That's the core question of our explainer today. We're dealing with an obsession so intensely powerful that it's seemingly bypassed death itself. Let's start by looking closer at that terrifying crime scene. So, when the authorities forced their way into Marlene's apartment, they were fully expecting a typical home invasion. But instead, they step into a locked, completely normal-looking room. There were zero signs of forced entry, no broken windows, no picked locks, nothing. And yet, Marlene was found dead on her sofa. And the details here are just deeply, deeply unsettling. Her skin was freezing cold to the touch, and her eyes, they had turned completely pitch black. The only sign of any kind of struggle was over in the corner, where her beautifully decorated Christmas tree lay totally shattered. Nestled right in that wreckage was this small, torn, incredibly creepy Santa doll, and it looked like it was smiling. Investigators were just baffled, trying to piece together answers from those scattered black boxes.
To figure this out, we have to go back to a very strange Secret Santa exchange.
You really have to see the stark contrast to understand the psychological trap that was set here. It's December in New York. Marlene loves Christmas. I mean, it's her favorite time of the year. The office is buzzing, glowing with fairy lights. The Secret Santa is happily underway. Marlene is handed a small black box wrapped in gorgeous glossy paper, tied up with her absolute favorite color, a purple ribbon. Super elegant and thoughtful, right? But then she opens it. Inside wasn't some cute, festive ornament. It was this filthy, torn Santa decoration. It was covered in these dark, weird black spots. One arm was completely snapped off, the cheap face paint was peeling, and the most disturbing part, the eyes were just two blank, stark white dots staring right back at her. Honestly, faced with something that disturbing, Marlene did what most of us probably would do. She was super creeped out, figured it was just some bizarre, distasteful prank, and immediately tossed the ruined doll straight into the trash. Think about that for a second. She actively chose to ignore the red flag. She brushed it off and dove right back into the office party to enjoy her favorite holiday. She had absolutely no idea about the horrifying nightmare she had just invited into her life, tragically assuming that throwing away the doll was the end of it. But it wasn't over. Let's move on to Marlene's terrifying night. The psychological horror truly kicks into high gear when her peaceful sleep is shattered. She wakes up in the dead of night to this strange, eerie laugh echoing through her dark bedroom. As her eyes frantically try to adjust, she sees a massive, towering shape sitting right at the foot of her bed. It's the exact same creepy, broken Santa decoration she threw away at the office, but now it is human-sized. And before her brain can even process the sheer impossibility of what she's looking at, she hears heavy, ragged breathing. There is an actual intruder in her room wearing that grotesque, broken costume. Which leads us to Reynald's last gift. The towering figure steps out of the shadows, and Reynald finally reveals himself. But the physical state he is in is just terrifying. He looks like he hasn't bathed in years. His flesh appears completely rotten, literally decaying and sloughing off right in front of her. And in this sickening, twisted display of fatal obsession, the name Marlene is scrawled obsessively, over and over again, all across his decaying skin. He slowly moves toward her, and with a hollow, echoing voice, he announces that her last gift is finally ready.
Pure panic sets in. Acting on pure survival instinct, Marlene grabs a heavy vase from her nightstand and swings it directly at Reynolds' head with everything she's got. But there's no crash. There's no impact. The solid vase passes straight through his ethereal body. And in that terrifying split second, her soul just trembled. Because she realized the devastating truth. Reynolds wasn't just a stalker in a suit. His toxic obsession with her was so extreme that he had killed himself, literally returning as a ghost to claim her. He lunged forward into the dark, and that's when those desperate screams rang out.
Now we reach the death and the terrifying truth of it all. Because later, while digging in her garden, police uncovered the final horrifying puzzle piece. It was Reynolds' actual body. Forensics proved he had been dead and buried in the cold earth for 10 to 12 days. Let that sink in. Almost 2 full weeks before the office party even happened, Reynolds had snuck into Marlene's yard in the dead of night and buried himself alive. He willingly sacrificed his own life just to bind his spirit to hers. That secret Santa doll, it wasn't a sick prank at all. It was a literal supernatural trigger. The second she opened it, his spirit was unleashed. He corners her, commits an impossible locked room murder, and leaves the cops completely baffled by those chilling Merry Christmas notes from beyond the grave. So after seeing the fatal, unstoppable consequences of this kind of extreme obsession, it leaves us with a truly chilling question about our everyday, seemingly harmless traditions. We do these anonymous gift exchanges, right? We trust the people around us. But as this incredibly dark case shows, you really never know what kind of obsession might be hiding just beneath a glossy paper wrapper and a nice purple ribbon. Thanks for tuning into this explainer. Keep questioning the details and stay curious.